Welcome to the Green Aqua Gallery, guys. Today we're talking about the evolution of our aquascapes. And Tommy is here with me. I'm Balazs, this is Tommy. Hello, Tommy.
Hello, Balazs.
Well, what we're doing today is we're talking about some how would I say, personal stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we decided that we're gonna make like a framework for our evolution today. So we're gonna show you how and what kind of tanks we did in the past. So let's have rock, paper, scissors to decide who's gonna go with his evolution. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
What's that?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I win. So you start.
So you start?
No, you start.
I start.
Okay, so here you go.
This was my very first tank. It was a 60p actually. D5 lights, some CO2 injection, and yeah. In this era, bonsai trees underwater were a big thing. So yeah, this is how it all started, and it was quite a long time. Over
decent,
9 years
Tommy.
ago.
It's very decent.
Yeah.
I can see some half-empty layouts
Yeah.
here.
Exactly. Yeah, I think this is where the rock thing started. I ditched all the wood bits and no bonsai underwater anymore. And this is where my love with the Amande fish came on. Ever since this tank, I still love using them in any Iwagumi layouts because of their color. I've used algae in a nice way as well. The whole top of the wood is full of BBA.
Oh, right, I can see that.
Also on the left side there is some stuff.
Again, what's with you and this half composition? So it's like pen up, so that pen up. That is
missing 50%.
That's the same. That's the same layout. So don't make a layout like that.
Well, yeah. When I did this, there was no Green Aqua on YouTube.
You never did photography before.
Yeah, I did.
So
for about
picture
10 years
composition
before.
skills, Tommy?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like.
Let's move on with the next picture.
Okay.
That's, let me see. It's 2016. So we jumped a couple of years now.
And this was actually in the old shop. This is still one of my favorite layouts I've ever done.
Is this a blue background? That was the question.
Actually, no. It was, if you remember, we had two 60Ps in the middle of the showroom, back to back to each other.
And you had like a vinyl or like a transparent or frost?
Yeah, but the frosty vinyl on both of them. So actually, as we lit them from the top with some studio lights, this is how the color came out.
Okay.
No idea why, but that's somehow the glass and the vinyl is breaking the light, and it just turned blue. It's I think it's an important topic. I've done photography for more than 10 years before aquascaping, and it took me about 3 to 4 years to learn how to shot an aquarium. So if you guys are struggling with taking nice pictures or making photos for contest or whatever, that's normal. Even if you have like big experience with photography itself, shooting an aquarium is completely different.
So this is how I shot my first. Why are you laughing?
Don't know what device you took the photo of the process of taking the photo, but it's quite small.
I love this tank.
This was later on. This was already my.
It was in 2016.
Yeah, so this was the when I switched my home tank from a 60p to a 100 by 45 by 45 centimeter tank, and this was the first layout I did in it, and there's a lot of wood involved, which is weird.
Yes,
Yep.
Absolutely. I love this scape, and actually, to tell you honestly, for me, this was your most natural layout.
You remember that you actually came over to my place to clean this tank?
I did. Did I do that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was full of BBA. I was about to basically give up on it, and you came over to help.
Tommy, this is my favorite style of yours. So when you're making like Iwagumi layouts this way, not the minimalist one, because you have a great minimalist one that I love with the
white rhino stones.
White rhino stones, the V-shaped layout.
This is what I love. This is what I've learned and evolved to love actually in aquascaping. That's what comes most natural for me. This kind of style is where I feel at home most, and yeah, I've seen a really quick evolution after starting at Green Aqua, just because how many tanks I've started to build, and just because how many tanks I've seen getting built. And this is what you can get on our YouTube channel, to see how we do the things, to see what mistakes we make, because we still make them sometimes, and you can learn out of those. Yeah, that's how you get quickly much better.
Okay, before we move on to this scape, we've got a question from Kevin. Later in the stream, will you review our tanks? And the answer to that is we don't have the opportunity to do that. We could do a session later, so we can have a separate live event.
Yeah, we'll sort out how to do it, and yeah, if we decide to go ahead with this, we're gonna note you guys on Instagram and all our social media up front, so you can make sure to join in, but that's for a later episode.
Who has the most number of scapes done, and how many together?
I'm sure you've built much
from
more
Green
scapes.
Aqua, you mean? Yes,
Yeah.
from Green Aqua probably I did.
Yeah.
Because you guys are pushing me forward onto the YouTube all the time. How to trim? That is the question for you.
Okay, for me,
She
there
and
is
me.
Tenellus, you shouldn't trim it.
No, you don't.
It's like, it's a grass, it goes as high as it goes, and that's it.
And then what happens if you trim it?
But I think it dies off. It actually starts to rot back when you trim the top of it.
But the good news
so
is
I
that
wouldn't.
it's not going to grow unlimited
Yeah.
big.
Okay, so actually, for this year, we are still over a month away from showing you my IA PLC tank, because the result's gonna come out end of August, and until then we can't show it online. But I've used wood. I was at Tropica Plants to build a tank for Interzoo this year, and I only had wood for the build. I didn't have any stones, and I actually quite liked to be challenged that way, and that's why I decided that this year's IAPLC should be a much bigger challenge for myself. I think in 2018 and 2019 I skipped IAPLC because I didn't just want to build the very same thing again. I needed a refresh, and this year, instead of skipping the contest completely, I decided to build something completely different.
Right.
And we're gonna have a video about that tank because it evolved quite a lot from building to taking the final photo. It's basically completely turned around and became a completely different layout. So yeah, that's gonna be another video.
You can see my first tank right here, and this is nothing new for you guys. You can actually, you know, relate to how ugly a first tank would be, but this was my first try after my childhood years.
And actually, when I said that even with lots of years of experience with photography, you can't really take proper photos of your aquarium, by the time he's done this tank, he's been working in TV for how many years?
10. Jesus.
Yeah, so that picture is shameful.
It is shameful. The next one is a little bit better. No, it's not better.
No, it's not, it's actually worse because you see some of the glass.
Yeah. My next tank, this was actually featured in the Practical Fish Keeping magazine of the UK, and that was an interview that they made with me, and this was in 2010, so 1 year into Green Aqua. You can see that I used the old ADA soil, Malaya, I guess.
It was
Very
a really
overgrown.
small tank. It was a 30.
Yeah, it was
36 liter. Which one? The Mini M.
Mini
Yeah.
M. Yeah, with its own light.
The old HQI light.
No,
the really old
compact.
one. Oh, this was the compact
Yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
compact tube. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was my just 1 year later, and it actually got rank 64 on IAPLC. And I started building this hardscape on the kitchen table, in the middle of the kitchen table, and I was building it for 1 year. No kidding. So right after that, it was sitting at the middle of the kitchen table, and we were eating around it. So when we had the family dinner, everybody was eating around
the hardscape.
The hardscape. That was the next one, which was actually mentioned by Mr. Amano in an Aqua Journal article, that he would never have thought that somebody would use cacti, saguaro cacti actually, in a planted tank, reproducing a desert scape underwater. I used the gardening wire and I wrapped moss around it, and that's how I constructed those cacti. And I even put on the right side here, you see that there's like a dead animal skull or something here. It looks like a skull.
Actually, the very first time I went to Green Aqua, you were working on this, and it wasn't really visible what you're going after. I've just seen the styrofoam shapes of the cacti, but at that point I wouldn't have said that those are cacti.
Actually, it's my favorite scape of mine that I've seen, that I made actually.
That you've seen ever in the world?
No, I've seen 2,564 better tanks than mine. Probably. Okay, let's move on from the top to the bottom. I moved to the bottom very quickly.
This one I told you from the very minute when you arrived to the shop with those crystals that this is not good.
Why not? Those crystals cost a fortune, guys.
I know, but
they cost about 3,000 euros or 4,000 euros.
Expensive stuff
total.
Is not
so
always
This was
good.
my most expensive layout ever. So if you want to spend 4,000 euros on a hardscape,
this was the company's. This was the company's most expensive hardscape,
probably,
not yours.
And then my last one that I wanted to show you today was this tank this was point of no return, and it got place 100 and something or 200 and something at IAPRC in that year, and I was really sad because I thought that it's going to get into 100, top 100, and for some reason they didn't like this layout, probably because it's too uniform and there's not a clear point of focus in it. Since then, you can see all my layouts on the Green Aqua YouTube channel, because I'm not building anything without you guys seeing it. So anything that happened since then, what kind of comments can...
Hey Balazs, I have magic beans for your next cape. I can sell
magic beans.
You. Yeah.
But those would grow out of the tank and would just go higher and higher. You guys have to realize that there's not one way to aquascape. There are many ways to aquascape. Yeah. There are many ways to have a healthy tank. This is what we teach. This is what our friends from all over the world actually are following as you know, strong filtration, CO2 injection, plant health, soil, lighting, etc. So if you want to learn more about aquascaping, you can do that on this channel. Okay?
Yep.
So let's say goodbye. See you guys.
See you guys next time.
Cheers.
Goodbye.